Welcome back, Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching and Training School. That's the technical name, right? I want to start out by again thanking all of you for helping our show climb like crazy in the iTunes charts. It's really fantastic to see so many of you discovering our podcast for the first time. We're getting a lot of first-time listeners, and or long-time listeners, first-time callers, or in our case, we're getting a lot of people that are new discovering the podcast because you're feeling in your marketplace that things are changing, and not for the worse, but for the better. And you're looking for validation of that feeling because you're seeing more buyers in the market. You're seeing sellers that are being more realistic on their pricing. You're seeing more opportunities to become a listing agent, and you're confused as to what direction to go. So what a lot of you are doing, and I know this by as we look at the analytics, is thousands of you are listening to our podcast every single day because Julie and I are telling you exactly what you should be doing to make the most of this new market. Now, I know one of the hottest topics of concern has definitely been AI. And I'm going to be very clear about what Julie and I are about to say to you. Do not worry about it. Honestly, don't even think about it. It's not a thing. Your highest and best use to serve future you, right, is not to worry about AI because AI is happening or it's not going to happen for you, right? AI is going to be having some sort of, it will absolutely revolutionize in many ways the real estate industry, but not how you think. For example, AI cannot get a real estate license. AI is not going to replace real estate agents. AI will replace a lot of the silliness that real estate agents spend their time doing. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. All the things you can delegate to AI, frankly, that'll do a lot better job than you. And we want you to be really clear, and this is what motivated the topic of today's show, is that the expectation of you to all of a sudden become a great writer, for example, all the sellers and all the buyers, the whole marketplace is going to assume that you are better grammatically and weaving a phrase together and waxing poetic than you are in real life because they know you have AI writing tools. And if you're not using AI to help you create really great, in some cases, very verbose descriptions of homes and whatnot, they're not going to want to list with you. Not
No,
because,
and it's going to be much more obvious than it was in the beginning too.
yeah, because you're going to have everyone and their brother is going to be writing, amazing content, create amazing
Yep.
content. So you can't just be lazy, frankly, and
You have no
complacent.
excuses.
You have no excuses because the sellers will know that the amazing brochures and whatnot, and the descriptions and the MLSs and all the places, they're going to know it's created by AI. But if they see yours is not, and they see let's say you're not a gifted writer, guess what's going to happen? You're going to look obsolete. You're going to look old. You're going to look
Yeah.
irrelevant. They're not going to want to do business with you. And we don't want that to happen to any of you. And it can happen at any age, by the way.
Hmm.
So here's the thing at the end of the day about AI. It is it is one of the most powerful, beautiful tools ever created for real estate practitioners who are not intimidated by it and see it for what it is. It is for almost for free what would have been in pre AI days. You would have had to probably have at least two or three assistants doing what you can get AI to do mostly for free. And even then, even if your two or three assistants were amazing, they're still not as good as what AI can do for you. And we're
Right.
going to be talking today about some of the basic ways you can be using it now. Now, I said a second ago, don't be worrying about it because don't. Everyone is going to have access to the same tools at the same time, which is going to make it so that well-written descriptions, amazing videos, short reels, all the social media content, it'll become ubiquitous. In other words, everyone and their brother is going to have it. So there's really no point in worrying about it because we're going to show you on our podcast exactly how you can employ it as well. Where you need to be focusing all your best time and energy right now is becoming the best version of you as a real estate practitioner, which does not necessarily mean the best version of you as a marketer, as a brander. Learn the skills necessary because that's the part of it. Think about this, guys. So many of you spend 90% of your time working on your business, doing the marketing, the branding, and all the rest of it. And you spent virtually no time getting better at your skills. But if all of a sudden everybody has essentially marketing and branding that looks and feels the same, but you're the agent actually who has the skills, you're going to get increasingly larger market share. Everyone's going to be able to have great brochures. Everyone's going to be able to have great reels. But who's actually going to know how to talk to a seller about positioning their house on the market to correctly reflect the buyer's expectations? That takes skill. Who's going to have the ability to call up a for sale by owner and effectively convert them into an active listing, let alone get the house positioned correctly price wise? Do you guys get the point? That's the skill. AI will never replace that aspect of what we do. So rejoice in the fact that you now have an army of AI that are going to act as your 24/7 content creators for virtually free, Sora 2
Yep.
and all the others that are coming out. And then you need to say, where is my time going to be best spent improving myself? It's going to be getting better at the actual skills that people all assume that you have. All right, Julie, I think I probably went over
Yeah.
your topic.
Well, I mean, you just removed a huge objection. I would be a more proactive lead generator if only I didn't have to spend all of my time designing brochures, if only I
Great.
didn't have to design all of the content for all of my videos. So we're going to talk about that throughout today's topic, which is a drill down on how to write irresistible listing copy that stands out. And yes, using your AI assistants. And you said it right, Tim. If you're not already doing that, I know that some of you listening have been continuously intimidated by even thinking about AI. It gives you, nerves. You just have to start using it. And we'll lace in all of our points, we're going to talk about how it can assist you to free you up to get more listings, which generate all the business. So
But let's start out with this one thing. You have to decide, and it doesn't have to be the same answer for every seller, but you're going to have to decide what you want your, like if you, let's say you've been reading a series of books, Tom Clancy or whatever the books are. You read those books, all of a sudden everything's familiar, right? So there's a certain style, a certain vibe that those books have that you really like. You're going to have to decide how you want your writing to look and feel to consumers and make it consistent and make it unique. Now, if you don't want to do it that way and you want to write brochures and you want to write your descriptions and all that are more relevant to the house, that's an advantage too. So where Julie and I sold real estate in New Albany, Ohio, there were a lot of Georgian and Federalist and big brick houses and all the rest of it. Well, I mean, if we were back there using AI, writing home brochures, we probably would write it where we were, paying respect to the history,
to the style and the history. We're going to talk about that. So
okay.
Let me get going here. Okay. So how to write irresistible listing copy that stands out, even with your AI, even in the AI era. So, excuse me. Introduction here. Buyers don't fall in love with data. Okay. They fall in love with a home based on how it makes them feel. Does it resonate with them? Does it sound exactly like what they've been dreaming of, or at least come pretty close? Nobody has ever said, honey, let's write an offer because the house has got exactly 1,827 square feet and dual pane windows. That has never happened. Buyers make emotional decisions first and logical decisions second. Your job is to guide both. And if I were using my AI to assist me writing a home brochure, I would say that to it. I would say, realize that our future buyer of this house needs to make an emotional decision. Let's pull on their heartstrings, right? This is why storytelling, real sensory human storytelling, remains one of the most powerful tools in your real estate arsenal, even when you're using an AI assistant. So when you master it, your listings don't get just noticed. They get prioritized. They get shown first. They get sold first.
But remember what Julie just said. When you're telling your AI how to write a brochure on a particular house, you can literally tell it to write it as if I want you to write a home brochure describing this house, but tell it as a story. Describe what it's like to live there.
Yes, so start with emotion. That's our official point number one. Start with emotion, not with data. Buyers don't really connect with numbers anyway. They connect to moments. Instead of writing 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with 1,800 square feet, start with a scene. Imagine sunlight spilling across the oak floors as you sip your morning coffee by the kitchen window, watching the world wake up, or some iteration of that.
But AI
You're not
will do that.
describing features. You're helping them feel ownership before they've even crossed the threshold. You're making them forget maybe your listings is only 1,500 square feet and they're looking for 1,800 square feet. I've just kind of made them stop thinking that way because maybe the rest of the house makes it so, you know what, it's a smaller house, but the floor plan is really awesome and I really feel like this could be home.
You guys should just screw around with this. Go to Chat GPT. And I know, again, what a lot of you are trying to do is you're trying to get it just to be your editor, like an editor. Like you've written something and you want it to go in there and like Grammarly.
Clean up the grammar.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying. We want you to allow it to write it for you. And then you tell it what the style is supposed to be. You can put in the bare minimum, 2,500 square feet, Federalist, Georgian home, design, whatever, and have it go and write the description for you. And whatever you like, you can say more of this, whatever you dislike, less of that. And
you can even give it the pictures of the house. You can say, this is the house we're talking about. Please take a second to look at the pictures and then give it some other prompts to, write a really amazing description.
In Sora and Sora 2 and the other apps, you can actually have it make pictures of what the house looks like when it's decorated for the holidays, what it looks like in the spring, what it looks like in the fall, assuming you have, differentiated seasons. So you guys get the point? This is what AI is going to do. It's going to make what you do so much better. But if you're not doing it, and by the doing it part, this is the part I hope you guys are really clear in your head. It's easier now than it ever will be. Well, maybe 6 months from now it'll be even easier, but it's easier now than it ever has been, because you don't you have to learn what the real estate prompts are. No, you don't. The prompting.
Just talk to it like it's your marketing assistant.
Exactly. So that's when Julie and I are using AI to write things, we just talk to it like a human. Hi, I have a new.
I have to say, working with it has gotten much easier after I discovered that. And I was making it too hard and trying to have magic prompts and ask questions in exactly a certain way. I think those days are over.
Yeah, just talk to it like a human. Talk to it like a really smart. Somebody said this. It's so true. So like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, it was like a really good high school student, maybe in the junior or senior. But now it's like a graduate student who's working on their third PhD. That's how smart it's gotten so fast. So the less before the style of, or really the prompting really mattered, but now it's almost like if you give it too much content, it's going to try. It'll actually do a crappier job being creative. And you need to say, be creative, make this your best work, research what the best writing is about Georgian homes. Sorry to keep using that as an example, but describe how the sun changes in the, reflecting on the ocean and those types of things. Let it know what you're after, and then write a romantic description, or getting the point.
You might start doing what we used to do before we had all of this assistance. Is we used to collect like really great wording and for home brochures, or a really great layout. You're going to be showing houses all the time, and you're going to come across something, or you're going to read something online. You're going to be like, wow, that really makes me want to go see that. Why was that? Oh, it really resonated with me. That sounds exactly like what my buyer clients want. So you can adopt that and you can adapt that, especially using your AI. So let's go to number 2, which is actually kind of more of a scripting point. Master the art of the home brochure. Don't call it flyers. Language matters. So does the presentation. Don't call your property piece, no matter how fancy or not fancy it is, it's not a flyer. Flyers are cheap. Home brochures are classy, intentional, and personal, a reflection of your professionalism, but also the seller's pride of ownership. Your brochure should feel like a keepsake that they're going to put in a scrapbook. It's got to be that emotionally pulling and professional.
They will literally
calling it a flyer.
I remember, Julie, you remember the house we listed for Matt Trucco in that subdivision? He had it listed for he had 2 years for sale, right?
Expired in Powell, I think.
Okay, this is a true story. It was
up on the hill.
Okay, so that was the problem. The house, so where we sold real estate, there was something called snow. Okay, and so the driveway on this house was like a ski slope going the wrong direction.
It's pretty severe.
Yeah, it was pretty severe. Anybody with kids would have never wanted it, because the kid will be on their little big wheel and just obviously go careening down into the whatever traffic is coming.
Dismemberment gorge. Yeah.
Everything about it was wrong. So Julie wrote this. Again, we went to the bookstore. We were reading great descriptions from magazines. You guys remember bookstores and magazines? And so she put together this really great description of how, and the house was not, it was kind of a modern thing. And it was, she wrote it about how it was amazing, how it had this European flair to it. You remember all these words?
A chateau or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So remember, this has been expired more than once, and it wasn't a cheap house. The guy that ends up buying it was a relocate. He was going to take over as a CEO for, remember, as a scale business or something. You remember?
Toledo Scale.
There you go. Toledo Scale. And so this was like a long time ago. Amazing. I'm remembering all of this. I remember it because it was such an incredible experience. So he was from Switzerland or something. He could have bought whatever the hell he wanted to buy. At closing, he told Julie one of the main reasons that he originally wanted to see the house when he was sitting on his private jet flying over from Switzerland or wherever was because of her description.
Yep,
this is
true story.
True story. Now the seller was thrilled to see that we put in all the extra work writing the description. And it was, extra work. But now with AI, if you don't do something that's at the highest level, you're essentially dealing yourself out of the game. You guys,
you're going to look lazy. And that's from point number 2, the top agent tip. Your marketing is a mirror. If it looks cheap, so do you. No brochure at all. I know some of you guys during the pandemic frenzy just didn't even bother doing brochures at all. Or worse than that, the crappy MLS printout, really? That's what you're using in your brochure boxes? Lazy, unprofessional. You have no excuses. You've got AI assistants for free now.
Well, point number
Yeah.
three is always, I'll go through this one, Julie.
Yeah.
Always use a brochure box. Now, oh, brochure box, what are those? Come on, people. It's free marketing and advertising on a sign in front of somebody's house. It is so incredibly valuable, and yet none of you do it. Virtually none of you do it, except if you're a top producer, because you know what I'm saying is true. So I'm going to give you advanced player tip number 4 from today's podcast. Have a reflective real estate sign. Google reflective real estate signs, and you'll find a company that makes them. We don't have an affiliation with them, but they're fantastic. And don't assume that the for sale signs that everyone uses are the largest that you can actually get for your community. What happened is your local sign guy basically has a bunch of frames, and his equipment is designed to create a specific size sign, but you could actually have a sign that's twice as large as a normal sign and make it reflective, which means you have a nice little listing tool when you're trying to explain to the seller that your signs are different, because a buyer driving up the street at night in a snowstorm will see your sign, and that'll draw attention. But what's the point if there's no brochure box? Now, there's brochure boxes that are clear, nothing on the front. They want to be able to, in their car, look at in the brochure box and see that there's brochures in there. A lot of you are going to be, selling real estate in areas where there's, crazy weather, like where we sold. There's brochure boxes that are springed. The lids are springed.
It's weatherproof, basically.
It's weatherproof, right? Yes, it's going to take more effort, but I'll tell you the shortcut. When you're making your color brochures, give a whole bunch to the seller and have the seller replenish the brochures, and tell them never to put in any more than 10 at a time, because, someone will grab all of them, or, who knows what will happen. But you guys getting it out here? Now, if you have multiple listings, the front of the brochure is going to be the house that's for sale. The back of the brochure is going to be all the other listings you have for sale. Now, the seller is going to say, well, why are you advertising other homes for sale? Well, Mr. Seller, I have 25 other listings for sale, and they're advertising your house for sale at the same time. Now, take it to the next level. You guys need to write this down and take it seriously. Go to 1-800-HOME-HOTLINE.com. 1-800-HOME-HOTLINE.com. And you need to start using 1-800-HOME-HOTLINE.com on all of your signs as a sign writer. I don't want to talk about it any more than that. Maybe we'll do it on a different show, but check that out yourself. When you have a listing, you should be generating at least, depending on the variables, at least a dozen to 30 leads per month off one listing when you follow our system. And one of the major tenets of what we're going to teach you guys to do in Premier Coaching is definitely to use 1-800-HOME-HOTLINE.com. Use it on your home brochures. Again, just go to 1-800-HOME-HOTLINE.com and check it out. Point number 4, we already talked about this, Julie. Avoid vanilla descriptions. We've already beaten that one into the ground. Point number 5, make them fall in love before they visit. I gave you guys a great example of Mr. CEO flying over on his jet. But really, what really does matter is that everyone, no matter how analytical you are, they buy with emotions and they rationalize with the numbers. If you find a house that on paper has all the square footage and all the analytical data, but you walk into it and you don't emotionally connect, you're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're Data from Star Trek.
It might not even get shown.
Right, exactly. So you have to really understand that every human buys emotionally. They decide what they want to experience. It's just everything. Everything's emotional. And so when you're going to Chat GPT or whatever app you're going to use, and you're telling it to write descriptions for you, you can literally tell it to write an emotional description. Write emotional description use
the 5 senses. That's part of this point. Make them fall. This is point number 5. Make them fall in love before they visit. Your job as the listing agent is to make every buyer or buyer's agent scrolling online on behalf of their buyers to be dying to see your listing first. They've got to cannot even wait to get there. You've got to make a race to schedule showings. Create urgency, excitement, the feeling that this is the home that everybody's going to want before the weekend's over. Your storytelling power turns curiosity into commitment. And as Tim said, ask your AI assistant to use all 5 senses, because that's very emotional. Talk about how the cinnamon buns cooking in the oven are going to smell. I'm not as good as AI at that, right? But the aroma of fresh coffee fills the kitchen. Sunlight glows in the quartz counters, and the morning breeze drifts through the French doors. Highlight the lifestyle, not just the location. After work, take a short stroll at the beach and let the ocean wash away the stress of the day.
It's
Doesn't
feature
that make you
benefit.
want to go see it? It makes me want to go see it.
What Julie's doing is she's giving you guys feature benefit selling, which is how everyone should always be selling. Here's the feature. Here's why you care, right? Feature benefit. AI will do that for you. You could tell it to make sure it's focusing on feature benefit. I'll tell you this as well. You could even prompt the AI to write descriptions using NLP as far as phrasing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Neurological listicle programming or something.
Linguistic programming.
Yeah, it's kind of honestly witchcraft and alchemy, but the truth is some of the there's really very effective uses of it, especially when it comes to writing. I'll give you guys one. This is one I picked up a long time ago. This is when Julie and I were in our 20s, and I noticed people doing this. It's total NLP. And as soon as I see this, I immediately distrust the person, whether it's in an intimate and one-on-one party or whatever, but whether it's a stage. But when you guys see somebody that does this a lot, or when they're trying to present to you, and they're shaking their heads in the affirmative, and they're doing this,
right.
What happens, and I've seen this happen, is that the audience, 2 or 3 people, will start doing the same thing. They'll start wagging their heads.
They're hypnotized.
Yeah, they're hypnotized. There's something, I don't know, witchcraft and alchemy, like I said, that causes a lot of people to lose control of their conscious brains and just start, acting like a lemming. Right. But use it to your advantage. Don't use it for
There
evil.
are some good things to it. You can make a suggestion, then you can edit, and you can say that was too much or not enough or what have you. So you can also personalize it with believable emotion. You'll love hosting summer barbecues under twinkling lights while the kids chase fireflies.
Feature benefit.
You're right. Yeah. And you're trying to have them transport themselves into that listing environment, into that backyard, into that 5 acres, whatever it might be. Buyers don't buy the data, they buy the story of their next chapter. So write that they feel that chapter is unfolding for them.
Well,
go ahead.
So it's imagine how you'll feel when. Those are the other sales. So imagine how you'll feel when on Christmas morning the kids come down just even saying.
But notice how you're using the word you. You're really trying to connect. You're not doing this generic business where you're just describing the living room.
But again, here's the blessing that all of you have because of AI, is that it already knows all of this. You are going to have to get comfortable with using it. And then as Julie said, what happens is the more you use it, especially if you have a subscription, it's going to remember the previous
it'll know what to do after you've gone back and forth a few times on, say, 3 different houses, 3 different price ranges, home brochures, and copy. It'll know exactly what you're after. You won't have to ask it, and you won't have to put it through the ringer as many times. So it gets much, much easier. And point number 6, Tim, you talked about this a little bit yesterday, but this is with regards to both home brochures and MLS descriptions. Collaborate with the seller. Don't dismiss their input. That just pisses them off. Don't roll your eyes when the seller wants to help with the photos or the description. They're not trying to interfere. They're invested in the process. Remember, they care about how their home is presented. It's their house. So they may give you some valuable insight, emotional language that you can use to make your marketing stronger. You can ask them what their photos are the favorite. What made you fall in love with the house? So don't get into contention and say to the seller, you're not going to use their pictures.
Well, Julie, I'm going to give a real life example. The title you have for today's show isn't really about what we're talking about, right? Because we're talking about how to use AI to do all the heavy lifting for you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT 5 right now, write a better description for today's podcast. Remember, it knows us. The show is...
You may have to give it the content.
I will. The show is about... the show is focused on showing agents how to... By the way, AI likes to answer questions about AI. I've noticed it's a little narcissistic. The show is focused on showing agents how to use AI to write
better copy.
Yeah, better. Yeah, I'll say that. Better sales copy, home brochures,
and MLS descriptions.
Brochures. Yeah, I got it, Julie. Julie's trying to prompt me.
Sorry.
Here is the working title. Okay, please make this better. All right, that's all I did. All right, so here's what I wrote.
Ask it for several suggestions?
No, it'll give me 5.
Okay.
All right, so write a better description for today's podcast. This is what I entered in. The show is focused on showing agents, that's not grammatically correct, but who cares? Showing agents how to use AI to write better sales copy, home brochures, MLS descriptions. Here's the working title. Please make it better. And then the title that Julie came up with was "Sell the Story: How to Write Irresistible Sales Copy That Stands Out Even in the Era of AI." Which again is missing the point because we're describing how to use AI to write the irresistible sales copy. Let's see what it comes up with. It's thinking and it came up already. Here we go. Okay, I got to prompt it better. Give me 5 titles only. Please make these titles geared towards SEO and NLP techniques. Okay. All right, now let's see what it says. All right. Okay, here's the 5 titles it gave me. You guys could all just tell me which one I should use.
They can vote.
Yeah, exactly. Number 1, AI for real estate agents, how to write MLS descriptions and listing copy that sells homes faster. Now you see what it's doing? It knows what the keywords are going to be that agents are searching by, and it's putting that first. And I noticed the AI almost always comes out with its best output first. And then here's the next one. Mastering real estate copywriting with AI, home brochures, MLS ads, and listing descriptions that convert. The third one is real estate marketing secrets. Use AI to write irresistible listing copy and brochures. Fourth one is how top agents use AI to create powerful MLS descriptions, flyers, and sales copy in minutes. I think these are all good.
They're all good. Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm going to do. Please tell me which one is best. I'm going to have it do the work for me. I don't want to use my brain. Please tell me which one is best when the goal is to get the most attention, just use a word, clicks, and
Listens. I don't know.
yeah, I'll just do that way. Okay, see what it comes up with. Now it's going to tell me which title it thinks it's best. All right, so it says, okay, if the goal is attention and clicks, then clarity plus benefit plus keyword density wins. From the 5 options, the best one is AI for real estate agents, how to write MLS descriptions and sales copy that sell homes faster. There you go. And then it tells me why. It says this is the reason this one works best. AI for real estate agents, super clear, immediately tells your audience it's relevant to them. Point number 2, MLS descriptions and listing copy directly hits the keywords agents are Googling and YouTubing. Number 3, sell homes faster, strong NLP style, benefit trigger phrase, appears to be the deepest motivation, speed, and sales results. See how it's good? It's using NLP. I didn't have to even tell it what NLP was. Yep. The last one is it balances SEO, discoverability, and the emotional hook. Julie and I were just talking about that. The others are solid, but this one is the strongest mix of keyword content, emotional payoff, which drives higher click-through rate. Okay. Now, Perfect. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to rename today's show that, Julie.
Yes, but I hope that they were patient enough to live through our process here. That didn't take you very long to do. And what I like about using AI in this fashion is it didn't just say you need to do this. We're learning from it. It told you why that was the best title potentially, right, which makes you better at understanding all of this. And you know, it makes me better at, you know, my title suggestions to it, which makes it better in return. I'm going
to show them something else. I'm going to explain it to them. All right. So now here's the thing. It's interesting. When you guys are, if you're doing a lot of YouTube and Reels, basically video marketing, you need to tell it that your title and descriptions for YouTube marketing. So watch how different this is. Will this work for YouTube SEO? There's a thing called YouTube SEO. And let's see what it says. Yes, the title will work very well on YouTube SEO. Here's why, and it tells me why. So good. That's the one we're going to run with. Now, sometimes it'll give you actual keywords that you're supposed to put here. Right here, I'll do this. Write the write the YouTube version. Keeping in mind, sorry if this is, you know, dragging out, but I hope you guys understand how easy this is. SEO and tags, etc. All right. Now it's going to write for me. There you go. Now it's written for me something that's called perfect. Here's the YouTube optimized upload package for your episode, fully geared for SEO and clicks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this. I'm going to send it to our assistant, and this is what she's going to use. I won't read all this to you guys, but it's completely and totally drilled down on what the SEO words, keywords are, AI for real estate agents, AI tools, and all the rest of it. And I don't have to do anything. I didn't do crap. And this is basically.
And remember how much work this all used to be, and how a lot of
People didn't
agents,
do it.
they either didn't do it, or they paid somebody to coach them how to do it, or they did a lot of trial and error, and a lot of times gave up on it. And now you have none of those excuses are there anymore.
And I'm literally going to copy paste this to our Anne, who is going to do all of our marketing for our videos. And I'm going to take 2 seconds to do this. Where is Anne? And we're off to the races. Julie, do you have any other lingering points?
Yeah, well, I think that the conclusion is that all of this support from your AI is fantastic for you because, as you said, it's mostly free. And even if there is a tiny expense for an upgraded subscription, it's like, what, $10 a month or something? So it's virtually free. You have no excuses. You now, all 100% of you listening, have a marketing assistant, have an SEO assistant, have a copy assistant. You have content assistants. You know, what are you going to do with all your time? Hopefully you're going to generate more business for yourself.
Well, I mean,
we know how to help you to do that.
What can they do? She's already working on it. How about that? So here's what they should do. You guys need to learn how to be proactive lead generators. You need to actually go after the people that have their hands in the air in your marketplace and say, yes, I have a home to sell. Will you help me sell my house? And again, don't waste a lot of time on stuff like this. Everybody is creating apps right now. And if you're a broker, if you're, some sort of leader in the industry and you're saying, I need to, in order to look relevant, like I'm leading, I need to be talking about AI a lot. We're telling you about it, but here's what we're also saying. Don't waste time on it because everything you learn today is irrelevant in like 2 weeks. And what we're going to do is we're getting very close to the point where you're going to have they're calling it now your AI agent. And your AI agent will literally, without having to prompt or do any of the work that I just did, which took me 45 seconds, will do it all for you. So you're going to be able to take a listing. Here's, 123 Elm Street, the paperwork signed, maybe it came in through DocuSign or whatever. And then the AI agent is going to take it from there and you're not going to have to do anything. It's going to make the brochures. It's going to write the descriptions. It's going to, order the whatever needs to be done. You guys get it?
Yes, and the next listing you take, you can say to your AI, okay, here's the address and the pictures, do your normal thing. And then you're done. You just walk away because it'll know what to do based on the work you've already done.
And that means your highest and best use is going to be going after the for sale by owners, the expireds, the notice of defaults, the probate listings, the calling your centers of influence and past clients, getting out in the community, because the differentiator is not the marketing, the branding. Ultimately, that's just reinforcing your real life activities. A lot of you have not learned to, frankly, be very effective one-on-one. This is your opportunity to catch up. Take action on all this stuff. Be incredibly excited. There has never been a time in real estate where Julie and I have felt more optimistic about the industry on a whole. The winds are almost completely at our backs. So make sure your mindset is in tune with that as well. If you've not subscribed to our newsletter, you know what to do. Just go to harrisrealestatedaily.com or click the link below. In the meantime, guys, stay tuned into us every single day. We're going to be talking more about Sora 2. We're going to be talking more about this. You can go and play with it. But that play is play. It does not replace doing the real work of real estate, which is going directly after primarily sellers and helping them get their properties sold. In the meantime, have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow. Hello, thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video. And remember to watch the next one. You're going to love that one.